guys, it's Gamer Ahmer here, and I am back on my Super Nintendo collecting series, where I take you guys along with me as we try and grow the Super Nintendo collection. So I went out to Cleveland Gaming Classic. This is a video game convention in Cleveland, Ohio. So I traveled all the way to Ohio to try and find some more games. And I am happy to report that I scored quite a few, and I even got a couple for free. So let's go ahead and check these items out. So we left off with 438 games out of the 721 that I need for a full Super Nintendo set. And when I went out to Cleveland, Ohio, I ran into a good buddy of mine. So Millennial Collector Ohio actually gave me these games as I had found a game for like a couple bucks a long time ago, and I gave that to him. Well, he returned the favor and gave me these games right here. I'm still shocked that I did not have these in the collection, and I'm finally able to go back and play some of these awesome games. So these are classics. These are must-haves for your Super Nintendo collection. Here we have Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy Kong's Quest. So what did they do? They took out Donkey Kong and they added Diddy Kong. So he is pretty much the new star. And of course, you're gonna have Dixie Kong as well. So we need more Diddy Kong games like this. Just absolutely love the Diddy Kong franchise, love the racing games, love all of those classics with this awesome character. So they pretty much had this whole like level design that included a lot more than just the first. So you have these different jumps, climbs. It is much more difficult. It looks and sounds great, and it picks up where, the last one left off. It really expanded upon that and just was a much better game, so I've heard. So I can't wait to dive into these, kind of go through the different Donkey Kong Country series and just see which ones I absolutely love. But so far, I would probably say it would be this one or the first. Now, I heard some not so great things about the third one. So here we have Donkey Kong Country 3, Dixie Kong's Double Trouble. So what did they do? They got rid of like the two favorite characters, Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong. So they actually changed it up. This was released after the Nintendo 64. So after Super Mario 64, it didn't get the same love because of this. You have Dixie Kong and you have Kiddy Kong. So it's not the same without Diddy or Donkey Kong. You kind of have like an exploration that's more like the first game. There is this really cool like cold climate and really different like level design with some of those. But overall, I just don't think that it got enough attention or enough love essentially because it came out as the next generation came out. So that is really crazy that they would have did something like that. They couldn't have done this sooner or even, changed these up and added them on the different systems. But I'm really excited. This completes the whole series for me of these Donkey Kong Country classics. And once again, thank you to Millennial Collector Ohio for hooking me up with these. I am so ecstatic to add a couple more games into the collection. So if you guys enjoy this content, make sure you hit that subscribe button, as I have tons more Super Nintendo update videos coming your way, and I can't wait to get caught up because I went to several different areas, several different stores, states, and so much more to add more games into the collection. Now, what I like to do is walk around the convention and try and find games that I just don't see in this particular area. This game I've never heard of before. This is Exarion. So, not really too sure, but from what I've seen about this awesome game, it actually looks like a great one. So, I've never heard of it before. This is obviously like an early in the lifespan of the Super Nintendo, and you get to switch between 3 different robots who have different abilities. You have missiles, you have bombs, you have 9 different levels with these different bosses. There is this whole leveling up system, and it's an action platformer. So, what more could you love? But unfortunately, this has like a much slower pace than, some of the other games. But for an early title, this one's actually pretty interesting, and it was rather inexpensive. So I am pretty excited to go ahead and give this game a little bit more of a playthrough and just see how it holds up and just see if I can really enjoy it. Because what more could you love with all of these different robots? It's actually pretty interesting how they crammed all of that into this game. And then this one, I had not seen this game before. We have Frantic Flea. So this looks pretty interesting. It's a rather inexpensive game as well. This is, of course, one of your platformer games where you have these different run and spin attacks. So you have to go around the different levels and look for these mini fleas. And the more you play, the better you get. So this one has this like weird little cartoon art on it. And definitely an inexpensive game. And if you love those platformers, you might enjoy this one. But I'm curious to know if you've ever heard of this game, because I had not. And then on to this game. So this one might be one that a lot of you guys remember back in the day, especially if you were getting into those RPGs. Here we have Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. So this is a rather easy game, an early RPG, not ambitious at all, very easy to get into. Of course, you have your puzzles, your bosses. The music is great, and it's a great introduction into the RPGs. So if you guys are looking for something like that and you want to, go back and relive some of those childhood memories, you definitely want to check out this game. But let me know if this was a game that you recommended at the very beginning for anyone who wants to get into those RPGs, or if you spent a lot of time playing this game as a kid. Now this is another one that I had never heard of, and it's another cheap game. So here we have Cyberspin, and this is actually a pretty difficult, very challenging game, but it's a racing game, and it actually is pretty cool. So I would definitely recommend this. So this is extremely difficult, so you have to memorize those turns. Your reaction time is like insanely quick, at least it has to be in this game, because it's so tough when you play it. Now, it's not bad looking, and the music is great. So you have this whole like spin out and crashing that you want to avoid. This is one of those top-down racing games. You have like these different turbo boosts, so it does go pretty quick, but you have to keep in mind your power bar. So this is one of those like challenging top-down racing games that I would recommend if you could find this game for like less than $10 like I did. So it's pretty challenging, pretty crazy, pretty difficult, but I think that I'm up for the challenge because I love these racing games. Something about these are just so cool on the Super Nintendo. And then this game, I had to add it to the list. For some reason, this game is more than just a couple dollars, and it should not be, because this is a terrible game. This is Relief Pitcher. So, other than that, it's a baseball game, and it's definitely not the best. The animations just don't look good, and I do not recommend it, so I'm shocked that it goes for more than like $5, which is insane to me. So overall, I had a blast going out to Cleveland, Ohio, going to the Cleveland Gaming Classic, and I added some more games into the collection. So we left off with 438 games, and now we are adding quite a few more, so 7 more games, and we are at 445 games. So inching our way closer to 450, and then hopefully soon 500. So I can't wait to see which games are next on my list. But definitely these Donkey Kong Country games are going to be so much fun. Even this Exarion and some of these other games. But definitely excited to see what is next on the list, because I'm getting into some games that I didn't even know existed, and I can't wait to spend some time diving into each of these and playing these a little bit more. Which games do you guys remember, and which ones do you recommend out of this list here? Let me know in the comments below, and of course, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. Go ahead and check out all of my other videos and stay tuned for more.